I felt I didn't have a choice because I was selected to be a part of the halftime show, and when I saw what my position was, it was a great stage, a large stage, and we know as a practicing Muslim, our Prophet Muhammad teaches us if you see a wrongdoing or you're aware of a wrongdoing, you must stop it with your hands. And if you can't stop it with your hands, stop it with your tongue. Speak out against it. And if you can't stop it with your tongue, try to stop it with your heart, meaning pray about it. And we know that's the weakest of faith. So I had an opportunity on a grand scale to bring awareness or speak out against a wrong of our Muslim brothers and sisters, because we know if one part of the body is hurting, all of the body is hurting. This ummah is one body. So I didn't want to face my creator and not with a sign of weak faith when I knew I had an opportunity to show I didn't have weak faith.
In response to your protest, the NFL says you'll now be banned for life from all NFL stadiums, from all events. What's your response to the ban, and would you still have done it if you'd known the risks?
The risk of a ban? I was afraid I was going to get sniped by a Secret Service's bullet. I can watch a football program on the television if I choose to, sir. And I don't like large crowds anyway.
This is a true example of a protest. This is a true example of a progressive individual, a true example of a revolutionary statement. And it's not coming from a corporation. It's not coming from some organization. It's not a half-hearted lie by these people that say they support diversity and inclusion, humanitarian actions, these ideologies that they pretend to support only to put on a mask to try to gain favor with the public. Now, NFL in general is a fake organization that only exists to make money, as much businesses do as they always do. And I personally watched the halftime show, or at least a update of it. And when I saw it live, I did notice the Sudan and Palestine flag. That person basically held up the Sudan and Palestine flag. And in my head, I thought it was a bit of just marketing. I thought it was something that because of the United States, especially the past year or so, it became a little bit more of a national news item to talk about the war in the Middle East and the United States support of Israel, of pretty much just funding a genocide. And what ended up happening is that it actually was a legitimate protest, and because of this person was banned from any NFL event from the future, just like Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports. You can do a really big thing or a really small thing. Seems to me like the NFL has a low barrier to entry to banning you, so that doesn't mean much of anything. But I think this is really a beautiful and sad thing, because I think it really highlights how fraudulent this society is, as well as how disgusting these corporations are allowed to prance around and pretend to be quote-unquote allies. This really started after 2012, especially after corporations saw the Wall Street protests, the Occupy Wall Street protests, where they kind of realized that they need to be allies, that these organizations say that they like black people, they like gay people, they like minorities, they like anything you like, anything you don't like, they like. And organizations such as the NFL, who honestly, if you don't know they're fraudulent, you must be someone who just woke up yesterday, because the NFL started off their fervent hate for Black Lives Matter, their fervent hate for players that would take a knee during the national anthem. And then, much like other corporations, after the public basically had an outcry and said that this isn't right, this is freedom of speech, the NFL turned around and said, yes, this is freedom of speech, we allow it. Yes, we support these ideologies that you support and that we're legitimate. Now, this person having that Sudan and Palestine flag, is it something that's going to be a huge statement? Is it something that is going to be probably talked about in the United States? Probably not. The United States in general likes to keep quiet things that happen in other countries, mostly because it benefits the United States. There's a reason why the United States funds a genocide in other countries and funds certain operations. And you can look at it from a historical perspective. You don't even have to make it political. You could just make it historical. The United States has repeatedly in the past made statements and done actions in order to destabilize a country, in order to basically improve their own foreign relations, or even if it could improve their own foreign relations. But I think it's good to leave it here and simply say that this person stood up for what was right. This person stood up for what they believed in. And you can tell when someone is telling you a legitimate fact of protest because it will not be televised. This will be removed, this will be edited, this will be scrubbed. Like 1984, this will not have happened. If you ask about it, you will be silenced. If you try to find it, it will not be found. And it's up to you to kind of think for yourself and pay attention, because all of a sudden these things are not allowed, much like how a certain Austrian painter banned books and burned them. The society we live in today is very afraid of you seeing certain things and is very afraid of you thinking for yourself. So it's very important that the narrative is controlled, and it's very important that you are spoon-fed all information, because God forbid if you were to think for yourself, it would be a very bad day for the establishment.